Everybody, welcome back for another episode. Today's video, I'm going to be covering 6 tips to grow, actually not to grow your Instagram account, but to get more leads from your Instagram account. And I'll expand on that here in a minute. So if this is your first time viewing, welcome. My name is Joe. I am a creator of what's called the Booking Lab. It is a free Facebook group, and I teach wedding pros and other small businesses marketing strategies so that you can grow your business and increase your revenue, and of course create something that you love and that doesn't own you and that you have to be tied to all the time. And one of the ways to do that is through incredible marketing, right? So I'm gonna jump right into the tips. Just as a disclaimer, I don't edit these videos. I go straight off the cuff. So I just like to be real, raw, and uncut. So if it seems like that's what's going on, that's exactly what's going on. I just kind of talk. All right. So I got 6 tips for you, and the reason I want to cover these 6 tips is because when I'm hanging out in Facebook groups, or I've been spending a lot of time on Clubhouse lately, and I hear people talking, and there's something. It's almost like there's this, I don't know what it's called, like almost like a culture or an understanding of how everybody should be approaching Instagram. And if you're brand new in photography, or maybe just haven't figured out the Instagram game, it seems like this is what everybody's doing. And here's my first tip, right? Is I hear everyone saying, how come I'm not getting enough likes? How come I am not getting any followers? I need more people to see my stuff. So the number one thing you need to do when it comes to growing your Instagram account is to stop making it about you. Now, I know that may be a tough pill to swallow. In fact, for 7 years, we didn't even have Instagram. We didn't even post on Instagram. And when I finally got out of the military and we went full-time with our photography business, we finally actually started to use Instagram. But it was never a huge lead generator for us. But when we started to get a little bit more serious about it, I started like analyzing other people, like, hey, how are they growing their accounts? What are they doing? And the number one thing I noticed is they made their account not about them. And here's what I mean. Is when you're sharing on your stories, and now with Reels, IGTV, or your posts, they were always talking about other vendors. Right? They're always talking about other vendors. Like, hey, check out this florist's work. Look how incredible it is. I love her. I love what she's doing. Hey, check out this wedding planner. Look at this incredible wedding she planned. Right? Too many photographers, or just wedding pros in general, when they're posting from a foundation of, hey, look at me, look how awesome I am, kind of a deal, right? And I'm not trying to beat anybody up, because like I did the same thing, right? It's just a natural thing for us to do because you don't know what else to do. So what you want to start doing is continue the post on your feed. You obviously be active, right? The number one thing here is, be consistent. Consistency is a whole different video on its own. But do what makes sense to you. Do you post once a week, once a month, whatever that is? But what I want you to do is in those photos, make sure that you're tagging any vendors that were at that event, if that's reasonable. Sometimes you may be a newborn photographer, a boudoir photographer, it's just you and the client, right? But maybe it's the hair and makeup artist, maybe it's a florist, right? Always make sure you're tagging those who are a part of the event. Now, keep your feed consistent with your work and showing some of your personality and who you are. Where you really want to be able to grow your account is through your stories, right? Your stories and your reels. And what you're going to be doing is, in those, you're going to be highlighting other vendors, because you got to think, people who have your clients, right? The people who have the clients, especially as a wedding photographer, are the wedding planners. But it doesn't mean that you should ignore any of the other vendors too, because they have people that they know, people who are getting married, right? So you want to build relationships with those people. And the number one way to build relationships with people is to give them a shout out and highlight them. Highlight them on your blog, highlight them on your YouTube channel. But more importantly, since we're talking about Instagram, highlight them on your Instagram account, right? You're giving them a dopamine hit, right? And what you're doing is you're building know, like, and trust with them. and you're building a relationship with them so that when you keep doing this and you're like, okay, I'm ready to refer a photographer to somebody I know, you're going to come top of mind because you've been delivering value this whole time, right? And last thing, pro tip, I would recommend that you sit down. This is something I learned from Russell Brunson. He's a marketer, digital marketer. He calls it his Dream 100. And what he does is he sits down and he looks at the top 100 people who have all his clients, and then he builds relationships with them. So when he needs to go and ask for something, he's able to tap into that list. It's no different with Instagram. You don't have to find 100 people, but let's start with like 20 people. Look for 20 people, 20 vendors, 20 venues, whatever that is, that have your ideal clients, and start building relationships with them by commenting and liking on their profiles, and then also highlighting them on your own profile as well through stories, in photos, tagging them, so on and so forth. All right. So that is my first tip. It is not about you. Highlight the other vendors. Do what you can to serve others. When you serve others, not just in Instagram, but your business in general, your business is going to grow. I promise you. When it's no longer about you and helping others, it will grow. All right. I'm off the soapbox. Number 2, you got to share education. Like, clients are savvier than ever. You have the internet at your fingertips. Everybody can look up anything about whatever they want, right? So the number one thing that you need to do is start sharing education. And you can do this. One of the things that's really popping off with Instagram right now is infographics. So infographics are like, you can put 3-4 posts, like carousel posts, right? And each graphic has maybe some different stats on there or a different tip. So these are really crushing it right now. Now, if you're like, Joe, I'm not very creative, I don't know where to get infographics. 2 tips. 1, hop over on Canva. Canva's awesome. I pay like $12 a month. It has all these like pre-designed things on there. In fact, you can just say, hey, Instagram post, infographic or whatever, and it'll come up with pre-designed templates for you. And all you have to do is change out your colors and your fonts, and you're like ready to rock. Another place that you can look is called Creative Market. Creative Market actually has designers on there, and what they'll do is they'll sell like templates, and they're like $10-12, and you get yourself a bunch of Instagram templates, and it'll be like for a whole year. Like, it's awesome. All right. So get yourself some infographics and create some educational posts, right? And this is for potential leads and clients who are looking at your account. The other thing that you can do is create reels too. Reels where you're giving like little tips like, hey, here's how to prep for your wedding day, or here's how to... Actually, what I would do is I'd probably be a little bit more strategic about that. I would be like trying to meet... So if I'm a photographer, I'm most likely meeting my clients 12 to 16 months prior to their wedding. So I need to get in their minds and be like, okay, where are they at now in the planning process, right? They're probably still looking for venues. They're probably still looking for vendors. And they're probably still looking for a photographer, and they're probably overwhelmed. So you could create a reel saying like, hey, 5 questions to ask every photographer that you interview, or here's how to pick a photographer. Something like that. Here's some of the best wedding venues in the local area, and you could talk about your city and the best venues, and you can even show pictures of the venues that you've shot at, right? So you want to do these like little educational / value adds so that when a client or a potential client, I say potential client, right? I guess a better term would be lead. So when a lead comes across your profile and sees that and they want to reach out to you, you can educate them and build a little bit of trust and be like, okay, this person knows what they're talking about, right? But the whole purpose of providing education is to show authority, right? Show authority and show that trust factor, because it's showing that you know what you're talking about, so that, I when I book you, you're the real deal. You're not some fake person behind a camera who's going to rip me off, all right? So educational, so infographic posts, and then also reels or stories or even IGTV videos would be a great way to go. All right. Third one, $1 a day ads. $1 everyday ads. Now, you're going to hear a lot of people who are going to say, hey, don't boost posts, right? Yeah, there's some truth to that, but what you can do is go back and look at some of your best Instagram posts. And the way that you can do that is just like look at your insights on your Instagram account. And then what you're going to do is go inside your Facebook Ads Manager. So the way that you run Instagram ads is through your Facebook Ads Manager. So you can go inside the Ads Manager, and you're going to you can actually boost those posts, right? You can either do it through Ad Manager or actually the Instagram platform itself. And what you're going to do is just run them for $1 a day. And then the targeting is going to be like 20 to like 50 miles, whatever makes sense for you. You can actually set like the radius for your targeting. And you're going to set it around your location, and you're going to target engaged couples. And you're going to run those posts for $1 a day. Guys, I know what you're probably saying, like, hey, I don't have money, or hey, I just want to do everything organic. If you're all organic, just do all organic. But if you want to get into ads and you want to get in for really cheap, pick 2 or 3 of your best performing posts and boost them for $1 a day. And what this is going to do, it's going to put them in front of engaged couples who normally wouldn't see your posts, right? So you're spending all this time looking up the best hashtag and tagging everything and making sure it's perfect, right? And doing all this research. Me, I hate doing all that stuff. It requires a lot of my time. I'd rather just pay $1 on a post and say, Facebook, Instagram, go put this post in front of all the engaged couples in my local area. And if it's my best performing posts using the Instagram insights, then I know that I'm going to be able to attract the right people by boosting these posts, right? So when they boost these posts, you're going to start to get people who are going to like that post, right? They're going to heart it. They're going to comment on it. Some of them may even DM you. Everybody who likes your post or follows you, what I want you to do is send them a message. Hey, thank you for, and then say what the action was. Whether it's, hey, thank you for liking my post. Thank you for following me. I see you're engaged. Like, try to spark up a conversation. You're going to make business. You're going to book clients in the DMs, right? And bonus points if you send them a video message. Hey, this is Joe here. I just wanted to thank you real quick for liking my recent post. I see that you're engaged. What are some things that you're struggling with right now, or where are you at in the planning process? I'd love to support you and help you out. Boom. Send that to them. Say their name so they know it's not like this mass message. But guys, I promise you, $1 a day ads, you're going to get engaged couples liking your stuff, and then you're going to send them a message in the DMs, and you're going to close them. All right? It's so much better than trying to research hashtags and create the perfect feed. It's ridiculous. To me, it was a waste of time. I'd rather just do that. All right? So that's tip number 3. Whew! We're getting there. We got 3 more to go. All right. I think I kind of talked about this one earlier, but find your vendors. So I alluded to this, so I won't spend a lot of time on this. Find the vendors who have your ideal clients, right? Create that dream 20 list or that dream 50 list of people who are on Instagram, who are active, who have clients who are following them and liking their stuff and commenting. And then what I want you to do is put together a styled shoot. And you can put a styled shoot with your dream team of vendors. And what you're going to do is you're going to go out, you're going to be the one that plans the styled shoot, and you're going to put everything together. You're going to make it super easy. I'm not going to get in depth with planning styled shoots here, but all I'm going to say is just plan one. And then what you're going to do is all that content, guess what? You're now going to put that on your feed. But here's what's great, because you picked vendors who are active on Instagram, who have your ideal clients. When they go to share those photos and they tag you, guess what? That venue and those wedding planners, all those people who are sharing your photos now, and you're getting tagged in the stories and on their feed, you're going to get traffic back to your profile, right? But obviously it takes a little bit of work. But again, you're building those relationships with the people that matter most so that you can have longevity in your business and continue to scale. All right? 5th one. We got 2 more. They should be quick. I'll run through these. So have a clear call to action in your profile. I see so many people are like, their profiles are vague. Your profile needs to be set up almost as if it's like a sales page where you're trying to get this person to take action. It should say like like where it says your name, it should be like, for us, it was Phoenix wedding photographer, right? Because that's a key word. So when people are typing in wedding photographer in Phoenix, your profile is going to pop up, right? Because that's a key word. And then in there, it's like, hey, whatever your one-liner is, you should have one one-liner that differentiates you from everybody else. put your one-liner in there. And for us, it was like husband and wife team, shooting madly in love, but fun-loving couple. Like, I don't know. I'm like riffing here. I'm going off the top of my head. But it was something along those lines. But we had some kind of one-liner in there. And then we said, only a few dates available for 2021. Find out more here. And the button will point down, which will go to the website, which is my sixth and final tip. Use that website link wisely. So it points down, it says get resources. A lot of people use Linktree or Campsite Bio or something else. And those things are good. I'm not saying you shouldn't be using those, but I would encourage you to create one basic website page. You call it like a splash page, where there's literally no header on it, there's no footer on it, but you can actually create links on there, maybe like a picture of you, a little bit of verbiage, and then links. And the purpose of this is you can put a Facebook pixel on there. And if you don't know what a Facebook pixel is, it's just a way that to track visitors to your website so you can run ads to them at a later date. But you're going to put a Facebook pixel in there. And what you're going to do is everybody who can land on that page, you can then run ads to them later, right? But here's the other thing too. You can see how many people are coming to that page, right? How many people are actually visiting my this splash page of mine. And then you can probably... this is a little bit more advanced, but you can actually use Google Tag Manager to see how many people are clicking those buttons, right? Now, obviously, if you don't want to go through all that, Linktree works just as great. Campsite Bio, I've never used Linktree. I've used Campsite Bio. I used their pro version. And you can actually install a Facebook pixel in there so that it tracks everyone who visits. So that is one workaround. Excuse me. Nose is itching. So you can actually use a pixel in there. It'll track everyone. I'm pretty sure Linktree does the same. I don't see why it wouldn't. But I also want to just say that when you're on that profile, keep it to 3 links. I see people in there, I'll click on their stuff. They got like 10, 12 links. It immediately makes me shut the window because it is completely overwhelming. It's too much, right? Is keep it simple. And what I would encourage you is have one freebie, some kind of downloadable guide. Maybe it's a... discover the top 12 as a photographer. I'm thinking as a photographer. Top 12 engagement session locations in the state of Arizona, or the top 10 wedding venues in the local area, or trying to think something else that could be useful. Your 6 must-have vendors for your wedding day, right? And I'm just throwing these off the top of my mind. If I really wanted to come up with the ultimate elopement guide to the state of Arizona, right? If I wanted to basically look up a lead magnet and have a lead magnet topic, what I would do is I would look at what like The Knot is producing, or Wedding Wire, or any of these, or just type in or Pinterest, right? And I'd see what kind of guides other people are making and just make my own. And I'd make that the first thing in my profile, because what's going to happen is when someone clicks that, right, they're going to get a freebie, and you're going to give them a piece of education, and you're going to be helping them out, right? And it's building that trust factor. The second thing I would do is probably put a link to my portfolio, or maybe one of my top blog posts. So if I'm blogging, I'm going to look up a blog post, or maybe a video that I made that's done really well. Just some kind of piece of consumable content that's done very well. And then finally, I'm going to put contact me. Now, pro tip, bonus tip for those who've hung around this long. What I would do as well for that freebie, and then also in your contact form, is what I would do is put a messenger bot link. So one of the things I'm known for is creating messenger bots. The bot scares people, but all it is a pre-programmed message. When someone clicks that link in your profile, it takes them to Facebook Messenger, where they can then have a conversation inside Facebook Messenger with this pre-programmed bot. And what's going to happen is you can collect information, or you can even send them a guide. So if it's like, hey, download this guide, click this link here. They click the link, it comes over, it says, hi Joe, welcome. Click this one button, I click it. This is all in Facebook Messenger. And it says, all right, here's your guide. And it literally delivers the guide. Now here's the best part about this. If you weren't using Facebook Messenger, that person gets their guide, and then you can send them emails. Maybe they don't reply to you. Maybe they do. If they come into Facebook Messenger, you can have a conversation with them. They're inside your Facebook Business Messenger. You say, hey, hope you're loving the guide. Tell me a little bit more about what you're planning, so on and so forth. And then you have a better chance of booking them. All right? So, whew! That was a little bit longer than I thought it would be, but I tried to bring the house on this one. I tried to bring the value. I hope you guys love some of those tips. In the comments below, let me know which tip you liked the most, or if any of that made sense to you, or you're like, Joe, you're just full of it. I love everyone's feedback, but I promise you, this is what I've seen working. It's worked for me. I've seen it work for others. This is what people are talking about. Please, 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 the most important thing, the biggest takeaway is don't make Instagram about you. Make it about other people. Make it about your client. Make it about your other vendors. You'll build those relationships, and I promise you, it's not about the follower count. It's not about the likes. It's about the quality. And I don't care who you talk to, anybody who's succeeded on Instagram, they will agree. It is about the quality of followers, not the number of followers, okay? So just remember that. I want to encourage you guys to do that. So I look forward to seeing you guys around some more. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the flip side. Bye, guys.